Hello, spacers. Welcome to Starlight, a space opera. I'm Isaac, your host and GM for the adventures ahead. This show, whether you're watching or listening, is a labor of love, and one that we want to make the best for you. So if you can, take a moment to freely subscribe or share however is most comfortable for you. Thanks. Now let's plot a course to Starlight. Come one and all, friends, pull up a seat and join us in our adventures on the Starlight campaign. Now, for the past few weeks, we've talked about an awesome nonprofit called Ring of Hope. You should still check them out. They're pretty cool. But this week, our announcement's a little bit different. If you want to go onto the Starlight Instagram page and comment on this week's post and tag a friend, you'll have a chance to win a super awesome prize. But no doubles, otherwise you're going to be disqualified. Does anybody else have anything?
Let's roll.
Yeah. All right. Let's see, where were we? In the last game, the three folks won the Loxodon Elephant Woman, Makena, Clive Jensen, the mysterious and interesting, and not to mention handsome man, or potentially Scent, as we were all curious, and a pretty powerfully built machine of a man named Atlas, all escaped the Hive C1 detention center. In doing so, they blew their way out the side of it and were hurtling in Atlas's ship to chase down a prison transfer vessel. Now, Clive had snuck aboard Atlas's ship, and Atlas, he was having a rough time with the Loxodon Makena, because she all but forced her way into the ship to get off of the detention center. Also discovered the stowaway of Clive. Now, just as he was about to confront them, they watched as the ship that they were chasing after was blown to smithereens by pirates. Pirates who also ambushed their own ship, burrowing a hole into the side of it. Two pirates entered, boarding and attacking, only to be cut down by Atlas. The one survivor, having her morale broken, retreated, calling back to her captain Yurik, who also really wanted her to escape. And so, shifting away from their vessel, a huge gaping hole was left in the ship, and almost getting sucked out into the vacuum of space, Makena and Atlas were literally all but saved by Clive, who was able to interface with the dragon and close the wound. But he was not able to stop the ship from crashing into the side of Titan 1, back on the asteroid where the detention center is built. Heading out, they also saw the crash and the rubble of the prison ship that also crashed there. Now, Atlas, having some business to attend to, started heading that direction with the other two in tow. Coming down into the crater where the ship was, they could make out the screams for help coming from a short, ugly, frantic pug. And that's where we left off.
I think you were still inside the ship at the time, because
Yes.
we were rounding the corner. I think you have the first.
I went in. I'm going in, and going to see if I can assist the pug.
Okay, so you go heading in. You can see that the flames are starting to spread as the eyes are wild. And he's like, put it out, as he tries to kind of rub the side and get it out at the same time trying to push, and he can neither do both.
I'll use Ray of Frost to freeze the fire.
Okay. So as you kind of shoot your hand over it, it just creates kind of a steam as both the cold and the flames meet. You're able to kind of like push the fire out just a little bit back and create a little bit of a barrier and put most of like the bit that's in danger of getting to this pug away. Now you're dealing with him as he's going, thank you. Help me lift this.
Hello, sir. What is your name?
No, not the name. Help me lift it.
I will help you lift it as I learn your name.
As you say
I need
that,
a name for who I'm helping, and I'm lifting.
Okay. As you say that first, there's like you hear like the little bit of a break, and then you say that, and he goes, the name's Darren. And together you both kind of like start to push it to the side.
Nice to meet you, Darren. And I push it off of him the rest of the way and help him to his feet if possible.
Okay. As you kind of like help lift him, you two are watching this as he kind of gets up and he can barely stand straight. He's kind of doubled over, holding both his chest and his side, and you can see like where it looks like his flesh has been kind of scored, and there's also welts from the flames, bruises, and a little dribble kind of blood that's kind of coming out from. You're not quite sure. It's just kind of pooling and making a mess of the tatters of his clothes.
So, Clive really has no interest in the half-orc because he wasn't really supposed to be here anyway. So he's actually going to use this time to search the ship a bit to see if he can scavenge any parts or anything that may help them get off this asteroid.
Okay. I want you to please go ahead and make a survival roll.
22. Nice.
22. All right.
Looks like we just needed a break.
Yeah.
As you're looking around, you find that there are a few cartridges of like the different laser weapons that the guards had. There is 2 stun weapons. They're both stun cudgels that are kind of laying on the side, lost. As for like things to get out of the ship, as you start looking, you find various parts that are great on their own, but it takes not that much diagnostic to realize like the core of the ship is screwed. You don't know if you're going to be able to. You're probably not going to be able to get the ship to run.
Well, doesn't look like we're going to be able to use this to get out of here.
Alice is staring straight at the orc.
The ship is completely shot. We're going to have to find a different way, unfortunately.
Now, one of the things that you do find as you're kind of like, then your mind's kind of going to like more survival gear, is you find like a first aid kit kind of attached to the wall. You bust it open, and you find 2 sets of painkillers in there.
Hey, Makena, tosses her the painkillers. See if this will help that orc there.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah, fix it for weakling.
I'll ask him. Darren, can I help you by putting these painkillers in?
Yeah, I'll take one of those. And he takes one. He pops open the bottle and takes one of the pills.
Okay.
What do I do?
And he goes, ugh. Looks at all of you and he goes, they hit you too?
They did.
Because I got the description of who I was looking for. I don't know if that's actually him or not, but I'm going to say the painter, correct? That was what the name of the...
Yep, that was the name.
I'm literally going to say... I'm just going to literally just say painter, and like just staring at him. I want to see if he reacts. Like...
Make an insight check.
Like painter, I presume. Insight check?
Yeah.
18.
He looks over at you and he goes, No, that was the fella next to me. And he kind of points at another pug who's dead. You notice, however, that he seems to not necessarily be telling the truth.
I'm going to look over to the Loxodon and say, patch him up.
I will. I'd like to do I'd like to understand what's happening here because this is strange behavior from him, and I'm assuming that I may have, like, being wise, you know, recognize an odd behavior from Darren.
Yeah, Atlas is
as well.
taking off his jacket and everything, so you probably noticed something.
Yeah. Can I do an insight on this, like, this scenario between the two of them?
Yes.
Not to double up on insight.
Go ahead and
but-
roll an insight check on them.
23.
Yeah. You're not actively trying to, like, hide that it's weird.
No, I'm taking off my jacket and like pulling my axe out. Like I'm literally,
Yeah.
but I'm telling her to patch him up,
Yeah,
and
you're,
then I'm just like standing there waiting
Okay.
with my
Darren,
axe in my hand.
Tell me who the painter is.
he goes, oh, and he kind of steps.
I heard he's weak.
As he's watching you do this, he kind of steps closer to you, and he goes, he's a bad man.
Yeah, how so?
Murderer. That's what he's in jail for, so they say. And he goes, looks around, he goes, are there any guards coming? Anyone?
There are people coming.
What about those pirates?
They're on the way.
We gotta go.
Deceiving them?
We gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
Really?
Where's your ship?
Our ship's around the corner. And we could help you free if you could tell us more about this painter.
I don't. What is there to tell?
Well, I'd like to just know more about him. How was he in prison? How did he get in prison? How was he caught? How does he keep getting in and out? Assuming you told me this information, and things along those lines. And what did he look like?
He like lifts an arm as you kind of patch up some of the areas with a bandage, and he goes, "Oh, like that."
Really?
And you can see this other pug just kind of like face down, hair wild about, and he goes, "Oh, I don't know much about him. He just went on a murder spree."
Would the painter be like a name that you hear in the news?
Make a history roll.
That's
I
what
was gonna say I was gonna tell.
that would be 15. And if it is a name you hear in the news, is there photos with the name that I would have seen?
This is a name you would have heard in the news. You have seen photos of this person before. The painter is someone who has gone on multiple murder sprees, and his signature mark is to let the blood from the body of those who are his victims and draw butterfly wings with them.
Sir,
And-
can you draw a butterfly for me? Just in the ground.
No, I heard the painter's art is pretty trash, to be honest.
I just want to see what a butterfly looks like.
Yeah,
I'll
painter's
start
weak.
drawing one. Darren, would you mind drawing a butterfly? Just out of curiosity.
Can you make a charisma roll?
Maybe you guys can quit lollygagging and help me find a way to get off this damn asteroid.
17. He sighs, and then he goes, all right. I can see that. One, your friend, he points at Clive, knows what he's doing. So I think we should listen to him, and I can help. And two, you got me. I can see that there's not any reason to lie. I am the painter.
Thank you. That is exactly what we wanted to hear. Now, please stand up on your feet.
And he kind of shifts up from where you had him sit to work on another bandage. And he stands up uneasily, and you can see one hand kind of reach out for a pipe. And he goes, I know what it seems like. A pug. The vermin of the universe.
I'm stepping back.
You guys want to teach him, show him that what he's done is wrong.
Nope.
I've been spit on. whole life. And every single one of them deserved it.
I'm gonna give you one opportunity. Are you patched up enough to walk?
I can't be.
Perfect. We're gonna step outside.
I'm also...
We're gonna handle this like men. And we'll figure this out.
He steps... Did you walk away altogether?
I'm like far enough away to allow this interaction to take place.
He walks closer to Makena, almost like as if she's safe haven.
I'm gonna be a hostage.
And he's much smaller than you.
Okay.
And he looks at you very knowingly that he's not in a situation to stand anything man to man.
Yeah, he hasn't seen my back or anything yet.
And so he's talking to you, but getting closer to you, and he goes, maybe we could work together, huh?
I'm gonna point the axe at him, like the blast side of it, and say, we're gonna step outside. I'm gonna give you this one opportunity. You can face me like a man or die right here.
Alice, maybe we might hear what a deal might look like, because he may... Actually, I'm going to pull you aside and have this conversation with you. Maybe just walk closer to you and say, Atlas, this may be a scenario where we need help getting out of here, and he may be able to help.
I agree. It's not like he's going anywhere.
So maybe man to man, this whole testosterone thing can happen after we are on our way out of here. I'm not married to this guy.
You're telling me this little orc, weak orc, that thinks that painting butterflies is cute, is gonna get us out of here.
I'm saying that an extra brain in getting out of here may hold potential. So let's just lower the testosterone a little bit and we can have this conversation.
I'm still watching him. I haven't looked away from the orc like this whole time. Even talking to her, I've like been looking at him.
He's like,
because I'm like looking at my target. Like,
you watch him as he's like kind of starting to pick through the remains. He finds one of those stun cudgels and kind of hefts it. Kind of clicks the button. You kind of see it like power up as around the cudgel. There's like a little electrosphere that goes.
And at that point, Clive pulls his rifle out and points it at him. Don't even think about it.
I'm not thinking about it.
Look at here. We're your only way off this rock. So you either come with us and help us out, or you can stay here and die.
Well, I'm not walking around.
Put the cudgel down.
Make an intimidation roll.
yeah.
3.
He goes, go. He kind of talks in his native tongue and throws the cudgel down to the ground with it.
I speak.
And then he goes, I don't want to walk around with those Husktakers out there without a weapon.
What's a Husktaker?
Insects. But they look like rock. Skittering feet that trace and drag along the surface.
That's what those
And they'll
markings were.
eat all of us.
Alright, perfect. And if we'll make a deal, we're gonna play a game. And if you guess the right cup, you can leave. I love this.
Come on. Your captain who just died told us that the cup game was...
Yes.
Make a persuasion roll.
17.
He looks at you and then all of you with his natural 1. And he goes, do I have a choice?
No.
And he's, at this point, as you're still holding the rifle at him, he kicks the cudgel away from him and just like raises his hands. Is that better?
I lower the rifle.
Do you guys understand the kind of connections I have?
Well, you're here bleeding, so you obviously don't have connections like myself.
Is it really going to matter if we don't get off this rock?
Is it really gonna matter? You tell me about this cup game.
Perfect. That's Nathan. How do you want me to do this? Without my cups right now? Because
I
Do you want me to go grab cups?
nope.
no.
I am going to 100% trust you. You're gonna take 3d6. Maybe whisper into Sam's ear
Okay.
which one you choose.
Okay.
And then set him down
which
and I'll
ones?
pick one.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh yeah, for you. Sorry, I was looking at the loxodon.
Alright. As you kind of lay down the cups and you put, what is it, like a pebble in one of them?
Yeah.
And shift it around, he tries to wash. He's just like, are you serious? Ugh.
You're
And then he's
insulting
going
my-
to try and make an insight check.
Okay.
Go to make a deception roll.
13.
17. Tell me one that's not it.
One that's not it?
Alright. He's traced it that far and he goes, that one.
Alright, I am a man of my word.
Huh.
You know any ships in the area? I promise I will not kill you as of right now.
Okay.
You're a lucky boy.
There's 2 ships. The areas where there would be ships. And he goes, do you know this place very well? At all?
I've scouted it, right? So I'd say, yeah.
Decently.
Okay, I'm talking to you as like player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, there's ships back at the detention center. But there's also quite a few at Bilbash Keep. The walking fortress, where all those guildsmen live. And where all the guards rotate in and out. If we can get into there, because I sure as hell don't want to go back to the detention center, we can secure a ship out of here. And I swear to the reveries that you will have a handsome amount of credits deposited untraceably to you.
I'm sorry, sir, but you have murdered several people who you say deserve them but did not. So I cannot guarantee that you will be getting anywhere off this asteroid. And I do think, I mean, if you had not exited the place the way you did, then we would be going back there saying we were shot by pirate ships. And now it's not an option thanks to you. And so I do think we should find a way to get you back to prison.
No. I don't want to go back there.
Of course you don't.
Well,
Kitty.
actually, I hate to say it and agree with Pachyderm, but she may have a point. If we take him back, we may be able to exchange him for a way off this rock without any sort of trouble. And as far as I know, we can't head towards that fortress without coming in contact with something dangerous.
Wait. We're not gonna go down this road. Do you people not understand? I have money. Real credits. Is it gold you like? Are you like that kind of people?
Money isn't like a thing that I care about.
But you're here. You don't have a ship. You need a way off. Money buys ships.
I don't know, you seem like a very pretty valuable asset to me.
I am valuable, but I'm more valuable alive. If we go to Bilbash Keep in the cantina, you can ask for the owner. She goes by the name Natalia Ghoul. She knows me, and she knows my connections. And she can get all of you off of this stinking hunk
Well then, how do you...
dirt space.
How do you...
What do you want? 500 credits?
First of all, how do you recommend we get over there? You said there's these creatures out there. Plus, as far as I understand, that fortress is way on the outskirts. No man can go out there.
And he looks around at everything. There's one way. This rock has dozens and dozens of tunnels. There are others who have escaped. You can take the network underground and get there. It's not as cold as on the surface. Those things, the Husktakers, they vibrate extremely fast and they live in giant colonies. You can hear them humming. They put off enough body heat together to create not the warmest, but somewhere where you can travel. We can go there and I can hide. You guys can get the ship. You can take me up to one of the orbital stations. I catch a bus, go one way. You guys go another way. Credits in your bank.
Who are you connected to? Who's your main benefactor? And just know the position you're in, so.
The Yeth.
You're not actually considering working with him.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who he works for. The Yeth? Do I know who they are?
The Yeth, they are the secret police of the Federation.
The secret police?
Like
The Federation.
The kind that come and bust into your door in the middle of the night and take you away and no one knows what happened.
And again, I know I'm trying to like burn like or beat a dead. Actually, I don't know. But basically, do I know? Like, are they linked to me at all? Like, do I know them? Should I know them?
I mean, you've had run-ins with them.
Okay, they weren't the main group though. That I'm.
No, they're not.
No?
They're not a part of that.
Okay.
These are literally like the secret militarized police. Like, think of like in the Soviet Union, like their secret police.
Do you know why the little drow in the detention center wants you?
The kid? Yeah, I know why.
Do you know where that kid is?
Do
All
I
right.
know?
Do you know? Sorry. Blank that out.
He's in the prison.
Yes. Yeah. I'm talking about the drow kid. Do you know why he wants you?
I was cutting in on some of his business. And he wasn't too happy about it. And I might have slept with one of his angels.
Alright, the only way you're gonna get out of this alive is, do you know anything about the Sun Maker?
The who? I can't say I've ever heard that name. And then he kind of like looks out one of the holes. Done. I'd rather that than freeze. But we need to get walking.
I do feel like the right thing is to bring him back to the prison.
Coincides with my job anyways, so if there's a way out, then I'll tell
You could bring him back to the child. Yes?
Yeah, I might fulfill a contract.
Well, let's just not let him know we're gonna bring him back to the prison. I'm talking to you away from him, for the record.
Oh, my jacket's back on too.
Yep.
So like he doesn't see my back or anything.
You're incrementally warmer.
Hmm?
Very incrementally warmer.
No, I meant just like he can't see my back.
Yeah.
The tattoo right there. Yeah.
So we go into the ground of the tunnels.
Yeah.
We make our way back towards the prison. We don't let him know we're going in that direction. And we return him to your friend, and we get a ship, and we get out.
I agree. I think it's our safest bet. We can't trust this guy. Plus, I don't trust going to that stronghold, whatever it may be. I just feel like that's going to put us in a lot more danger than we need or can handle at this point. And we don't owe this guy anything.
Although, Clive, what is your story?
We don't have time for that right now.
Well, it's a long walk.
Let's just get moving first.
You guys kind of come back to him.
Yeah.
At this point, he's grabbed the stun cudgel again, and he has it like kind of tied with some like makeshift bandage type stuff around him, and he's kind of like limping with you. And he goes, "Where are we going?"
So while we're walking, because he's tiny, I'm gonna grab him, not hurt him. And I'm gonna put the binders on a pair of binders on him.
At first, do you guys help with this process?
No.
No. You guys watch as there is this almost semi funny struggle as the pug Darren tries to like kind of like fend him off for a bit, realizes it's useless, and then just eventually is just like walking in the binders, and he goes, "You know I'm useless like this, right?"
Yeah, you're already weak, so I don't need you.
You should really learn to be kinder.
Do you guys blindfold him, or are you going to let him just walk?
Because he will know where.
From my experience dealing with interrogations and my brain just blanked out. Yeah, basically interrogations and like torture. I'll put the binders on him, and then I will first, before I blindfold him, I'll ask which direction we need to go, and I won't blindfold him until we get to the tunnel.
To get to the various tunnels?
Yeah, until we get to the tunnel, I'm not gonna blindfold him.
Well, he tells you that you need to go basically in in a easterly direction, and that there are in various parts of the craters there are tunnels, and we just need to head into one of them.
Towards the frigid domains.
Towards the frigid domains, and that you can pretty easily you could get lost really easily, but you can also figure out the more surface type networks and kind of follow that in the direction until you hear the sound of Bilbash Keep just walking, because it's a giant almost citadel built on these towering legs.
Okay, out of character real quick. Just so we are going back towards the yard, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll head west.
Yeah.
We'll
sure
head southwest.
if it was
like stretching.
No, I just wasn't sure if the tunnels also go that direction or not, or if they were just going towards the keep.
Well, if they escape from here.
Okay, so that's
yeah.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So you point in the direction. You guys kind of start heading in the opposite way towards the Hive C1 Detention Center, and you hear a lot of kind of grumbles from Darren, but he also realizes the position he's in, and he kind of, when he slows down, you kind of give him like a nice little tug that gets him going again, just with a few hisses. The terrain's relatively flat. It does go up and down a bit. Now, along the way, you see multiple craters where there are like little tunnel type spaces. Do you guys want to go into the tunnels, or do you want to head the 4 miles on surface to the detention center?
How close is it? It looks like the cold. Like, how cold is it getting?
It's starting to get pretty cold. It's not like freezing by any means, but you have... Go to make a survival roll.
What is that? 5
Yeah.
plus 4, 9.
You probably have somewhere between 2 to 3 hours left of like sun.
How many miles away is it?
4.
You can probably make it running, or like even just like really briskly walking fast. Especially because as you guys are walking, you're not just walking. It's like the walk where it's kind of getting a little bit of a leap with that, where you kind of float through the air.
Let's stay on land. I don't really like going underground anymore. Well, you tell me your story and I'll tell you mine. 4 mile walk.
Or you could take
well,
off these blindfolds.
Let's just get a move on
Painter,
before
we have a
lose daylight.
perfectly good reason to keep blindfold on you.
If we're not taking the tunnel, we're all in agreement. I'm gonna smack him across the head and make him unconscious.
Go ahead and make a strength roll on that.
This
Straight
seems
strength?
unnecessary.
Yep,
Well,
straight strength roll.
He's a killer. No, being a killer, I know that he can't.
Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes.
18 plus 4, 22.
All right, you hit him in just the right spot where he just and kind of like already with some of his injuries.
Yeah.
He goes blank, and then in that moment of silence, finally giving Clive the chance to as he was kind of cut off, to finish what his thoughts were.
Oh no, I think I was done. Hey, I just want to get out of here. We're running out of sunlight, and we waste too much time on this pug that none of us even really know. I don't understand why we stayed here this long. I mean, we got danger all around us, and here we are just goofing off. Let's just go.
And just as he says that, there's another like beam of light in the far distant sky. Just
I'm heading towards.
What is the marching order on this? Like travel order?
Marching order?
Yeah. Are you guys going all abreast? Are you guys going in a line? How are you traveling right now?
Due to my pride, I am going to be in front, or like at least trying.
I would
to
say
be.
we're probably walking in like a triangle fashion.
Okay.
With him in front, the dude over his shoulder, and then you and I on either side of him behind him.
Atlas, will you please make a perception roll, please?
And you can try to get ahead of me
This
if
is
you
probably
want.
I'm gonna do something else
Oh,
a
okay.
little more.
you're probably about 2.5 miles in at this point.
14.
14. As you look over, you see that the tunnels are starting to become more common and common, and you see them kind of all over the place. And you can just hear just this bass. But you can't tell where it's coming from. There's so many like tunnels surrounding you in all directions.
I'd like to do an investigation check to see how much I know about these creatures.
Investigation?
Or insight, like just like a history behind them. Like how
Yeah.
would I know how to avoid them?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
That would be an 18.
Husktakers. From what you have read in the past, and you've read quite a bit, Husktakers are a genetically modified strain of insects.
Mm-hmm.
They were once an accident and now have been weaponized into guard dogs of a sort. And it's not always uncommon for them to be bred on a prison-like colony or something like that, so that way when prisoners try to escape, they are eaten alive.
Mm-hmm.
As for what things bother them or issues, you've read that certain frequencies might bother them, and there are some kind of really like woo-woo thoughts that maybe with the right amount of this oil mixed with a pinch of salt in this, you can actually scare them away. You're not quite sure, if it works or not, but you never want to be in a situation you have to try it. Now, as Makena's kind of like thinking this and telling you this, that's when Clive, I need you to please go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, 5.
Immediately, out of one of the holes, there's a shape that just goes, and you see it just it's almost as if it's skating on the surface. Its legs never leave it. You see it's almost like a centipede, but when it moves, it has a carpus-like rock that almost looks like the surface of the asteroid. And as it's moving, you can actually see that it's scintillating and changing to match like the surface in various different hues and colors. And it comes straight at you. Probably has anywhere from 20 to 50 legs. You can't tell, they're all moving in unison. And it has these antennae that come out with little sharp barbs, and they just catch a little bit of the back on you. That's 3 points of damage, and that's when the humming gets louder, and out from in all directions, you see 4 of these various creatures.
I knew we waited too long.
I need Atlas to please go ahead and roll initiative.
Five, right? What is that number? Yeah, 5.
5?
4 plus 1, yeah.
All right. Everyone, go ahead and put your characters in that that triangle formation, please.
Neat.
All right. So this one jumped out at you, and you have one kind of jump out in this.
Oh, there's a lot of them.
All right. With that, Clive, as it kind of goes right past you, catching the edge of you, I need you to go ahead and make your turn.
Real quick. Are these considered constructs?
These?
Yeah.
No, these are
Okay.
biological creatures that have almost mutated also into their own type of species.
All right. Well, I'm going to push the one that attacked me off of me, and I'm going to try to blast it in the face with my laser rifle. 14.
14. All right. So you shoot that, and your laser rifle catches it straight into the middle of the carcass. Go ahead and roll for damage.
10 damage.
10 damage.
Nice
So
shot.
you take off a huge chunk of it. Is that all you want to do, or do you want to move?
No, I'm going to stay here.
All right, McKenna, you're up.
I would like to probably. I'm okay with killing him, so maybe just firebolt him. All like whatever I can probably hear. Yeah, because I can maybe knock out 2 in 1 there. So yeah, firebolt.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
All right. That'd be a 17.
17, that is a hit. So you raise your hand and you shoot out those nanobots, and as they just catch, it's just like the small, it's like little fireworks, but like hundreds of them as they hit. As the flames kind of like lap around it.
That would be 7 points of damage.
All right. And it was this one.
No, between these two. So I threw a pot, so once I shot it this direction.
Let me see your spell. I believe it's just one.
Okay,
Firebolt.
Yeah.
I think it's-
Yep, it's just
Okay.
one.
cool. Then I'll just hit the one on the left then.
All right.
On my left.
So as you hit it, it just kind of goes, and it comes rushing straight in. This one at Atlas. He's the closest, and as it kind of rears up, now you see coming out of as it rears up and stands almost nearly as tall as you. There's 2 additional legs that kind of come out with giant stingers, almost like a wasp, and they just shoot straight out at you. That one is a hit, and they just into you. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
8.
8. All right, that is 5 points of damage, and then you take an additional.
Wait. Is it poison?
It is.
Okay, I have an advantage on saving throws.
Then go ahead and roll that with advantage.
9.
All right, that is an additional 7 points of damage.
So how much was damage was initially?
So 5 and 7.
12?
Yep.
I'm unconscious.
All right. So
That's
he
a
goes.
two damage.
He goes down. When you guys see him go down, you see that particular centipede. You notice as what were once full bladders of poison are now completely empty, wasted on the ground.
Wait, no. Sorry, that was really bad on my part. I am resistant to poison too.
Okay, so that's half then.
Yeah,
So
that's
8 points.
So I took 8 points in total.
Yep,
Okay,
that's 8
totally.
points.
Alright. Sorry, that was my bad completely.
This
I'm trying to
insect
learn
comes
this.
over here. Gets right next to you, McKenna, and it is going to also do the same thing. It stands up. That is a 11 to hit.
Does not.
That does not hit. Okay. And the insect now next to Clive kind of shifts, getting behind him. So Clive, the insect kind of moves behind you. That one does 13 points as it to hit, and
That's a miss.
it kind of misses. You kind of parry it off with the edge of your rifle. And now it's your turn, Atlas.
My turn? I'm just gonna hit the one in front of me. 22.
22.
16 plus
That is a
6.
hit.
4 plus 4, 8.
8?
Yeah.
All right. So again, kind of like going after the same one. This one, how do you want to kill it?
I'm just gonna. It's just like a centipede-ish kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut its head off and then.
All right. So as you hit it, it goes, and it kind of falls, just a little bit of ichor on the ground. All right. Will you please, Clive, roll initiative? Nope.
9.
All right. So, the insect that is right next to Makena. This one, now it takes kind of a swipe, just kind of pegging you with its legs. That is a hit, and that is 4 points of damage. As each one kind of... The insect that's right next to Clive, now that you've kind of got its attention, it also kind of rears up and also just does the same exact similar thing that you just saw with McKenna. That's a nat 20. Okay, that's 4 points of damage. So, and then this one kind of gets to the side of Atlas, sensing the closeness, seeing all of the wounds and the blood coming out of you. It almost seems to smell it as it rears up, and it tries to swipe, and it misses as it catches air. All right, it is your turn.
I'd like to do a minor illusion back in this direction over here of a really, really high-pitched frequency.
All right.
Because it said it's like frequency sensitive.
Yeah.
Good idea.
I want you to first go ahead and make an intelligence roll to see if you can get the right frequency.
All right. That would be 10.
10. So this noise kind of comes up. Out in that corner. And all of their antennas, the ones that are there, kind of flat. And you see them kind of start to edge, kind of almost moving away from it. Atlas, it's your turn.
Okay.
I'm also gonna back up.
Oh, you're gonna back up?
Sorry.
Okay, as you do that, it's gonna take an attack of... It'll get an attack of opportunity if you move
Okay,
away.
I won't push.
Alright.
Sorry.
Alrighty, I'm gonna turn towards the one that's next to me, and then just swing at this one too. If I see Clive, I'm sure I got that right.
Yes.
Well, this is up to you. Do I notice that if he looks battered or not?
I'm at 4 hit points, so I'm pretty.
Okay, the reason
pretty bloody.
Yeah. Okay, I'm still gonna swing at the one like next to me, and then keeping in mind, seeing Clive.
Alright, so you see Clive kind of like pushing off one of them with the rifle, getting his gun up, ready and cocked back to shoot. You got to focus on you now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. My attack, nat 20, so
Nice.
so 26.
Alright, roll for damage.
Okay, so this is a nat 20 for the burst axe.
So it's just double damage.
Just double damage. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, that was 12.
Plus
Jesus.
2 plus 4, 6, 12. 12 damage.
Alright.
Dude, I'm so sad.
2? Or what?
Well, it's 2 plus 4. Oh, is it? Wait, what am I
Oh,
multiplying
yeah,
by 2
yeah,
to
yeah.
roll?
So, yeah. It's,
So it'd be 8.
yeah, it's
8.
It's 2 plus your, whatever it says in there. We already
2 plus 4.
calculated. Yeah, so 6, so 12 altogether.
Okay, so we're multiplying. Okay.
Yep.
Just make sure. Okay.
You catch and you take off, shearing off multiple legs as you kind of swipe up. You bring it down, and altogether, you guys watch as he just cleaves off probably anywhere between 5 or 8 legs. The husks of what's left just kind of wriggling around, sparkling and gushing with like this green like liquid. Clive, you're up.
Alright, so after the thing attacks me and it's like up on its legs or whatever, I'm gonna spin around, drop down, and try to take a fire at it from underneath.
All right.
And it's gonna be 9.
All right. You take a wild shot, and it kind of arcs off as the thing is still kind of circling around you, not even paying any attention. It has about 4 black beady eyes that just kind of stare in. There's almost hairs coming off of its antennas, and they kind of like brush up against your skin, doing nothing but just feeling you. All right.
Handsome.
The insect that is right next to Makena, it is going to move to the side, kind of work its way around, and it is also going to, again, just snipe with more of those legs just right into you. Shoo, shoo, shoo. It's a hit, Makena, and that's 1 point of damage.
Frequency did not work. It
That was a good idea, though.
right?
No,
Atlas, you're up.
Alrighty. I'm going to... Realizing that Clive is in a pretty rough situation,
Mm-hmm.
can you give me, just a clear description. What is his hair, like what kind of hair does he have? I know it sounds dumb, but there's real,
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
you don't see any of his hair because he has a hat on.
But he has like a country accent?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like a cowboy hat on.
Perfect. So, seeing that, everyone's gonna see. Brain's blanking out again. Sorry, you gotta say something. My brain blanks out. I have a hard issue with that. Atlas, you're gonna see him like so the blue lights on his body is he isn't going forward, obviously, but you're gonna see him start to get like angry. And seeing Clive like being like bloodied and injured, he's gonna kind of bring him back to his days as being like a soldier, and thinking about his battle buddy at the time, or brother in arms, depending on how people know it. And it's gonna have like flashbacks, and he's going to go into a rage, and then attack the one that's next to him.
All right. So you guys watch as like blue energy starts to flash.
It just turns red. Yeah, so everything that was blue, like the lines and everything, starts turning red, and he starts to like steam. His body starts like steaming.
Yeah. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
19 plus 6, 25.
That's a hit.
You are rolling good.
Oh yeah, now.
It's because I'm not using my own dice.
Is that a 1?
Oh, well, never mind.
1 plus 4 plus
Take
2,
that
so
back.
1 plus 6, 7.
How would you like to kill this guy?
I'm just gonna, just cleave its head in half, and then I'm like, as like going wild, I'm gonna be, and my eyes are red now too, I'm gonna be looking towards the one near Clive.
All right. So as you kind of bring it down, straight down to the center, you just bury deep into its chitin. The carcass kind of falling to the side. All right. And that actually puts Makena as next.
So I am going to use my quarterstaff to attack this thing right in front of me. So that would be a 5. So I actually end up attacking myself and die.
All right. So you kind of you bring it down, and it does kind of like you as you're pulling it out. You don't normally use it. It kind of fumbles against your knee, and you almost drop it. Anything else?
I feel like I need to risk getting an opportunity attack because I'm kind of low on HP. So I'm going to back up. What if I move to the side? That's safe?
No, as long if you're moving more than 5 feet away, it gets an opportunity.
Okay, then I'm going to back up.
All right. So it kind of reaches out, and it actually that is a 18 to hit, and it one that is 4 points of damage.
I am passed out.
You watch as Makena like tries to fumble her staff up in and out of the way, and she catches one of the legs, but the leg kind of sinks into the staff and pulls it out of her grasp, just as the other leg kind of comes in and just right into the abdomen. And she looks down, and you guys just see there's almost like a little bit of tears in her face as she doubles over and kind of passes out onto the ground. All right, Clive, it is your turn before this other Husktaker goes.
I mean, you can try the dice. You do.
You know what? I think I will. I'm gonna take another shot at the one behind me. Or in front of me. Whatever. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
That's a 19.
That is a hit.
That's what I was looking for. Alright, 9 damage.
Okay.
Here we go.
9 damage. All right. How do you want to take this one down?
I am going to flick a switch on my rifle, setting it to overcharge shot. Basically, it's going to completely vaporize it when I hit it.
All right, so you just switch the switch, and you watch as it kind of crackles with this bluish energy, and then the bolt comes out, and it's actually smaller. It's not bigger. And when it hits, you watch as it expands, then it, and the thing just falls to the ground. Will you
Yeah.
please roll me another initiative?
Yep. 2.
All right.
Plus 1.
Good. What you notice immediately
Yeah.
is both of you as McKenna falls to the ground, unconscious. Clive, you're up.
I'm gonna go over.
Sorry.
I am going to. So she's just knocked unconscious, or she's like.
Are you at 0 or did you go under 0?
I went -1.
So she's in death saving throws. Kind of like got hit by a pretty bad hit. Yes, you can.
Alright, that's what I'm gonna do. Because I hit 10 of them on my first one.
Alright, so immediately he goes down and starts just like, it's alright, it's alright, it's alright, and starts kind of pulling out the bandages, going through it. The insect, seeing Makena down, kind of goes up and with its like pincers, grabs one of her feet and starts to try and drag her away. And since she cannot resist, it goes at 1.
Can you pull me because you're close?
Alright, grabbing her by the foot, it drags her back about 5 feet.
Can I attempt a strength check to...
I would say, yeah, you can do that. That wouldn't be how it normally works, but we'll go with it and say that you're using almost like a reaction. There. 4. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You kind of try to stop it, and the arm just kind of goes limp, and at that hint that you were trying to put your foot in the way and catch her by the armpit, and it just pulls her back a little bit.
It's too busily bumping.
Atlas, you're up.
Alright, so I'm gonna charge this one. Do you mind if I move it? Okay, I'm gonna charge this one. I'm just gonna swing my axe at it, and he's in just a rage. He's like, he almost seems kind of like a wild animal-ish, just like charging almost like on all fours, coming at the centipede. 14 plus 6, 20.
That is a hit.
5 plus 6, 11.
11. Alright. This one, you watch as it drops her. Now, almost like a wild sense of preservation as it tries to like lash out, hurt at you, but it kind of misses wildly as it's clattering now. And it looks like it's trying to actually dart away, realizing the position that it's in. Clive, will you make a initiative roll, please?
19.
Alright. Clive, you're up.
Alright, I'm gonna take a shot at the one that was dragging Makena away.
That's a hit.
Alright.
Yeah.
10 points of damage.
How do you want to take him down?
I'm just gonna shoot him right between the eyes. Just marksman shots.
Alright, raising it, getting down on one knee. It's almost reminds you of target practice.
Everything kind of goes quiet in his head. He's total tunnel vision, and he's just focused on that dead shot.
And
it's almost like just a stream, like a narrow stream of light that just goes right through the...
And you just watch.
Yeah, like
As you can see, just a pinpoint hole that goes all the way through and out the other side. And just in the background behind it, you see another flash of light in the sky. And it falls down at the same time. And that's when you hear the voice going, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" from where you shoved Darren down. And he's like, "Let me see! Let me see the damn things!" You guys find yourself in the aftermath, gore and ichor around you, but the swarm noise has kind of died away.
Yeah, Atlas is basically, at this point, I'm actually gonna, as a visual, I'm just gonna be like going over to like the rocks, even if Clive goes up to her or not, depending on what he does, but he's just gonna try to get away from them and attempt to end his rage kind of thing.
So you kind of go over and you light a little cigarette, just kind of like let the moment go. And you guys watch as the steam is still kind of coming off of him. Clive's kind of like slapped you awake at this point. You're not like functioning. You're still at 0, but you're kind of going in and out of being out of it, and you're getting views of him, the color of red kind of fading off to purple, back down to blue. Clive above you kind of like saying words that you can't understand. It's just like your ears are ringing. He's still working on some of the wounds. You, Clive, look over and you see the last bits of smoke kind of like steam coming off of him. And it almost looks, as he's calming down, as if he's deflating, just like a little bit. You're not sure though if that's like for real or if it's like just like his demeanor's like getting calmer.
Alright, well, I think we need to get her patched up. We need to get out of here. We cannot afford another attack like that. He's trying to hurry to patch her up and get her to a spot where she can
I will
walk.
pick up the pug or the orc. Darren?
You don't want to pick up an elephant? It was
Can
a
you
joke.
carry... Can you lead or carry Darren?
Yeah.
I will pick up the elephant.
Can you?
I can lift anything as a large creature. As for carrying, lifting, or pushing, because I am considered a powerful
All
creature.
right.
Go ahead and make an athletic check.
Alright.
Deadlift.
Heavy is like 380. Okay, so...
I'm 375.
You're just heavy. You're not impossible. 15 plus, you said strength? 15 plus 4, 19.
He kind of wraps you around him, so that it's
Wow.
almost like he's wearing you as a cloak. And he just takes
Clive's,
one large jump and just lifts.
This is a comical view.
Clive is just taken back. He's like,
My guy is...
holy crap, you are something else.
Okay, would this count as a rest for me then?
We'll say that the journey there is going to be somewhat of a short rest.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
I am
guys-
strong individual.
start to approach. Finally, as it's starting to get just before it's kind of getting too cold to really like want to be out here. Like you don't already want to be out here, but like before it gets dangerous. Yes.
Before we reach the compound,
Yeah.
I'm wrapping my laser rifle back up and putting it on my back.
All right. So you wrap that up, kind of hide it away. You're still carrying Makena, and it's definitely slowed you down a lot. Like I would say, your traveling speed is slower, but you are noticing more things.
You're as strong as being in the universe. Just it's fine.
Yep, you're still slowed down, but
Oh, I'm sorry.
you eventually see the detention center. There's no more smoke coming from it, but you can see that there's a huge security detail now. Spotlights are like kind of all over the place. Somewhere along the way, you saw arcs of vehicles heading towards the crash, just kind of missing you on their way. But you guys are able to finally see kind of like the gates of the compound. Huge, almost fortress-like walls made out of steel and probably adamantine mixed in. Towers on all sides. Lights sweeping the inside and the outside. There's almost a voice, you can't make out what it's saying, but it's almost like the lockdown PA system that you've heard before, Clive. And you know that how they're probably treating the prisoners are not good at this moment. You can see that in the front there is a gates, but the gate is closed. The guards that would normally be out at the guardhouse, they're there, but instead of like the normal 4, it's just 1. And he's kind of looking around with his binoculars, but he hasn't swept over in your guys' direction. And you can only make this out because you're catching some of the glint of the light off of it. Something you've gotten used to, seeing that kind of look in at the yard. Is there anything you guys want to do, or do you want to be seen?
Is there any rocks or giant formations of rocks near us that we could hide behind?
There's plenty. Yeah, there's a lot.
Alright, well, I don't think we can approach this place head on, considering how we left it the last time, and since you have to
Clive.
carry that.
I still have yet to hear your story. Is going into the prison something you wish to do?
I think it's hilarious that you're on my
Aren't you
shoulders
knocked
asking this.
Oh, shit.
No, no.
Yeah, you're still knocked
Oh,
out.
she's knocked out still?
Well, you know, that
Yeah.
was a short rest getting there, right?
I believe, and I might be
I
wrong
was
on
gonna say,
this,
this
but
would
I
be
think
hilarious.
you just actually get your HP back from a long rest.
I thought you get 1 D8. You roll the D8, and that's what it is
All right,
for a
all right.
short rest.
Here's what we're gonna do, because I don't have this rule on hand. What we're gonna do is you're gonna be able to go ahead and roll that,
It did.
but I'm gonna recheck that in the future, and we will figure that out. So go ahead and roll.
It did.
All right.
Yeah.
So whatever HP you're at, you're at.
I think it's funny that I was carrying her and she asked this, like basically when she's on my shoulders, this 375-pound elephant on
Well,
my
I kind of
shoulders.
imagine that you put me down and I was conscious at that point, like having arrived. But you never said you put me down, so we can negate that I said that, so never mind.
No, you're good if you're saying it. I was just, like, when we got there, I didn't know, like, what the plan was. Obviously, we're looking for somewhere to hide, so.
Okay.
What do you?
Oh, they're
you guys wanna do?
talking.
Do you want to try and hide, or?
I suggest we try and hide, figure out the patterns of the searchlights, figure out the patterns of the guards.
So the binoculars are starting to sweep. You guys have about probably 5-6 seconds to dive for some cover.
Well, I'm down for some cover.
Okay. So as you start to pull your Darren with you, he kind of goes, "What is it? What is it?" And you kind of yank him, but I need you to go and make an athletic check to pull him just in time. He stumbles, and I need everyone else to please go ahead and make an acrobatics check for to dive.
Acrobatics?
Yep, you guys.
19.
Very agile.
Yeah.
4.
Hearing
Oh.
you, Clive, she pushes off of you, kind of shoving you forward in space a little bit, and you kind of float just in time as the binoculars kind of zoom, like go over you.
They see me?
And there's like a moment where it sees you and it sees Darren, and then an alarm goes up.
I'm gonna grab Darren.
And it kind of, you start to see lights start to head and sweep your direction until it starts to cover where Darren is. You have one more roll with disadvantage if you want to try and take cover. Or
Did
do
they
you
see
want-
Darren or no?
They potentially saw both of you, but now there's for sure a spotlight on Darren, and there's multiple heading your direction as well.
I'll try it.
With disadvantage.
Well, if they see Darren,
Well, yeah,
and
that's-
then we're returning him.
I kind of want a second opinion. I was gonna say I was just gonna grab Darren, and because they saw me, I'm just gonna stand there and use him as like a chip, like a bargaining chip.
You're going to
That's
make a decision in 5.
I'm doing the
4.
bargaining
Do
chip.
it.
Yep. So, grabbing him, he's just kind of like, "What is going on? Are we on?" Ugh. And then you see the color in his face go away, and he tries to like shake out of your hands. I need you to make a strength saving
Saving throw?
throw.
Oh,
And I come up with my words there.
No, you're good. 8 plus 6, so 14.
All right, he is a man desperate for his life. He just rolled a 19, and he breaks out of your hands, and he just is like trying to get the blindfolds off his face. He kind of puts one of his face up against the ground and pulls one eye down that way, and you see the eye. It's bloodshot. It's wide, and he goes, "Oh, we had a deal. We had a deal." And he starts running in the opposite direction.
I'm gonna ray of frost him and freeze his feet to the ground.
I need you to make an attack roll, please.
That would be a 25.
That's a nat 20. All right, so you catching his feet. Go ahead and roll for damage as well.
2?
2.
It shouldn't kill him.
So as you freeze up the legs, you watch as he starts to slow down. Each step kind of breaking more frost away. It doesn't quite freeze him, but he's moving a lot slower.
Darren, please don't run.
I can't go back.
You should go back.
Know what he's gonna do to me. And at this point, you guys watch as the gates open, and you see guards coming out on small, like basically like floating vehicles heading your direction that's hovering just slightly over the land, and it's and he looks back at you, the one eye, and he goes, "Huh? It's death. Would you want to go back to your death?"
Oh, Darren, I'm so sorry.
At this point, you hear a voice ring out.
Halt! Put all weapons on the ground. Everyone on their knees.
And then it
They don't know
repeats
I'm
itself.
here, right?
No.
They only know me, Darren, right?
Yep. But
And
I guess I
do they know?
yeah, they don't see these two initially.
Okay.
But
No, I'm just saying if
It's just funny that I'm hiding.
Well, no, I was just trying to. Yeah.
you're behind a really big rock. So the things kind of like start to circle around and they repeat it again.
I'll get on my knees.
And they say,
Atlas will reluctantly and slowly put his axe down and get on his knees.
so circling around. Most of the vehicles, like most of them circle around you, and eventually they all see you guys because the rocks are just kind of like one-sided hiding spots. And someone says something over intercom in a different language, and one of the speakers kind of break off and block off Darren. Darren, realizing how futile it is, kind of gets down on his knees as well.
What was the drow's name again? Sorry.
The kid.
The kid. I know. I knew his name though when we went to the meeting.
Oh gosh.
Sorry. I was gonna just tell the guards and say, call the drow. We had a deal, and I brought him back.
When you say that to the guard,
yeah,
he raises an eyebrow as he kind of raises the visor a little bit. You see pale blue eyes, and there's a thin scar kind of like running across the cheek. He's a kind of a short but thick mustache, and he goes, "The kid? Oh man." Are you that journalist?
Yes.
Journalist.
He says something over his comm in the dim voice as other people are starting to file out and kind of like surround you guys and kind of pick up your weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I want you to see to it that these guys are taken back into the visitors' quarters, given a full meal, a hot shower, and I want to make sure that they are taken care of and treated as guests and heroes. They have returned the murderer, the painter, to us.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you and
They only see me, right?
No,
they've
all of us
circled around and
now.
saw everyone, and they look straight. He looks up at you. You get the sense that this guy may not be as strong as you, but he could probably brawl.
I have some respect for him, basically. I can see that he is a strong individual, right?
He's a big boy.
He's also a man. I'm not gonna say. Yeah.
Well, he looks up at you and just goes, "We will talk, but for now, why don't you get cleaned up? Don't worry about these weapons; they'll be returned."
Thank you.
And with that, you guys are kind of like, to the surprise of others, kind of ushered into one of the speeders, and you are given almost like a basically like an escort back. You know, the last half mile or so. Well, it's a little less than half mile back to the detention center. The gates open with a hiss. As you make your way in, you go in through a different chamber entrance, different port, and it's like adjacent to the bay that you guys were once in, and you can still hear the crowds of all the people on the Airbus just hanging out in there.
Man.
You guys are escorted. There are plenty of guards kind of nod their head. You don't see any inmates. You actually, instead, when you come to the lift, where the prisoners were kept upstairs, you guys are taken downstairs. And you guys are each brought to a separate room, one right next to each other. You're given your own key cards for the room that has limited access back to the surface, and just not basically to the other prisons cells. And inside you find a hot shower, a bed, and various other types of accommodations that you would find. It's not like top of the Ritz type style, but someone was kind enough to think of putting a chocolate on the pillow. Diplomats do stay at this place every once in a while to oversee things, and you guys are each given a chance to clean up and take care of yourselves. At some point, your weapons are brought back to each of you. No one checked your blanket, assuming that it wasn't anything. What would you guys like to accomplish as you guys are getting cleaned up and whatnot?
Before having left Darren, I do wish him a fair death. And I wish him a quick death. And then, back to what you were originally asking, I would really just like to get cleaned up and kind of focus on me for a moment, and maybe try to decide if I'm going to stay with these imbeciles.
I'm gonna go get myself patched up, because I came a little close there to not making it back. So that's my main focus right now, is making sure all my systems are in order.
All right. So as you kind of like start to kind of clean and take care of yourself, there's something odd that you notice, something that bothers you. You're really glad no one else noticed it. The blood that you had It is clear. Almost completely see-through.
The blood coming out of me?
Yep. When you were like beaten up in that battle, you kind of like hide that, patch it up the best you can, and it staunches like any type of wound. But you're really thankful that no one noticed that. And it's also something that bothers you because
I don't know what this is.
it's so different.
This is not what I'm used to. I need to find these. I need to find more answers. I think I may have to stay with these people. I need to get some rest. This has been too much. He's just gonna kind of sit back in his bed.
You notice that there's like a little television with a remote, and as you kind of like lay back, there's even like a little a booklet kind of detailing the history of the place, but kind of able to lower your hat and just kind of block out everything. And Atlas, what about you?
He's just gonna kind of do a similar thing. Just clean up, take a shower. He's also gonna bring out his repair kit and attempt to repair his like stomachy region where the insect like had punctured him, and make sure that there's no like lasting damage.
All right, so as you kind of get in there, you kind of like put your fingers directly in. Like it's not like you feel uncomfortable, but you're pretty sure you don't feel pain in the same way as other people. You're able to just kind of like part it, find the machinery, and start like almost like with a screwdriver, start working on stuff, making sure things are taken care of, and then start kind of sewing it back together and then cleaning yourself up. After what is probably like enough time for you guys to get a meal that is delivered to your rooms and at least a decent 4-hour nap or so, there was a knock at each one of your doors. A runner comes down and he says, "Excuse me, you've all been asked to head to the mess hall. It's cleared out, and the commander wanted to talk about a fair reward for you. So if you wouldn't mind, please follow me."
I would love to.
Alrighty.
All right. Leading each one of you, there's kind of like an uneasy quietness as you're kind of walking up these steps, each step echoing. It's cold. It's not a nice place, but even when you get to the mess hall, a place that should bring people together, you find that you feel small. All of the tables have been pushed to the side. There's a single, almost like long lunch school type of table that kind of folds down, and sitting at it is the same man from before, but he's dressed in a suit at this point, and he raises a hand and he goes, "Ice cream?"
Ice cream.
One for the Loxodon then? No one else, I take it?
Where's the drow
No, I'm
child?
good.
The kid?
Yes, the
He
kid.
sends his thanks. He goes, matter of fact, a lot of people send their thanks. You see, we weren't quite ready for the painter to leave at this point. So, I appreciate you bringing him back, and I will make sure that your names go out as heroes who turned in a fugitive and a killer back to his rightful place in a house of law. He goes, but I did talk with the kid. He was quite pleased with your work. Atlas, is it?
Yes.
Yes. I think that your bosses will be very pleased. And then he kind of moves one of his collars back, and you guys see a golden lapel. And in it is like a circle that it's like a border gold circle, and in the center there is there's just a single cross, but the cross is like at an X type of situation, and there's diamonds studded through it on each beam supporting it, and that is the symbol of the Yeth. And he goes, "I am Dil Ilkhan." And he goes, "It is my pleasure to meet you." And when he smiles, you see that his teeth have been replaced. They shine kind of a similar Durasteel gray. You notice that one eye is actually a mechanical implant, as he then takes a nice big chunk out of this ice cream that he has. And he has like a few brought to those who want some. He goes, so, what is it that you wanted to know? The rest of it.
Do you think we should do this with the company? I know these individuals helped me capture the painter, but
I assumed that they were with you, working with you. Am I wrong?
I mean, could you have done this without us?
it's a fair point. I've learned Clive's name, correct? You've said your name. Clive has seemed to be a good pilot. He locks it on. Could potentially be a healer or someone that can patch people up.
Well, thank you. And I'd pat him on the back and say, that was the first compliment I've received from you all day.
They proved not to be weak, so it's fine. They can be here during our exchange of information.
He goes, fine. That sounds good to me. If you trust them, then I trust them.
I wouldn't really call it trust. It's more...
Oh, it's not my head on the wheel, is it? He smiles again and takes like kind of almost like a foreboding bite this time out of the ice cream. And he goes, the one you're looking for, the Loxodon, the Sunmaker. Yes?
Yes, I'm looking for the Sunmaker.
He's on the planet colony of Thala, at least according to the last time, when the kids saw him. The village that he resides in, its name is Nanoni. He's on the outskirts. Kind of a prophet sort of situation. He's situated himself high up over them, on a mountaintop. He even has a nice little cult going there. But then again, the kid hasn't been there for 5 years, so that's going to be your best running advice.
So he's running a cult?
Last we checked. He
What do
split
they
from...
worship?
What is that?
What is their religion or worship?
Loxodonian pantheon. Things outside of the reverie. Pagan things. Things that don't move with reason or the logics.
That makes sense.
And he goes, no offense. And he takes another bite. And this time, the spoon kind of bends slightly.
None taken. And I break my spoon.
Oh!
So the spoon goes, "Ping!" Some shards kind of fly
That's
out to the
awesome.
side. And he goes,
She gives me a hard time about testosterone fights.
does she? I can see it. And he kind of looks you up and down. And he goes, but she provides valuable help, so. It sounds like you've gotten quite the team together, huh?
They, so far, have been dependable.
Well, I talked to the warden, Miss Yip. She has made it clear that you're to be rewarded. Something to the sum of 700 credits. As well as I was able to procure you a ride out to the colony.
Well, I can't for sure say that these individuals will follow me, but I'm blanking out again. For sure that the individuals are going to follow me, but I will be taking that ride.
You know, I have actually business to be done on Thala Colony. It's a dear old friend of mine. And so I would love to accompany you.
I'll gladly tag along too. I have some stuff myself I gotta take care of.
Well, but it seems that we are all acquainted and ready for you to go. And do keep traveling and doing things in the fashion that you have been. With the change in the triumvirate coming up, and the shift from the sovereign to a different form of government, things are going to take a rather drastic turn. So the Yeth are very interested in folks who can get work done. So we will keep a close eye on you.
Do we have a second? Okay. Can I ask the commander if he knows about a terrorist attack during the Bendigas year? Bendigas year?
You're asking about the terrorist attack during Bendigas year? Of course I know about it.
Do you know what the group is doing now?
No. The reason being why that... Oh, that's right. We toppled that regime and cut the head off the snake, so to speak.
I just want a yes or a no answer. Would I know about this?
Go ahead and make a history check.
The Bendigas War? Oh, the terrorist attack on it?
2.
You've heard of the War of Bendigasir. It was a conflict that basically... There was many different reasons for it. Mostly this planetary system did not like the way the Federation wanted to kind of like lord over the way they were doing trade, and the tariffs that were being put on their solar system, as well as a few social things that they didn't really jive with the Federation on. Now, eventually they took basically someone who was trying to parlay with them captive, a high-ranking military member, and when the Federation asked for his safe return, all they sent back in the mail was his ear.
Oh, wow.
Starting off the short but bloody War of Bendigasir.
Okay.
And then he goes, so, you will find that your transport is up and ready for you. You have a great pilot who will take you there and drop you off. From there, you should have the credits to figure out your way. And all I can say is best of luck with your job. After all, your bosses aren't very forgiving. And he stands up, his ice cream half finished, by now just melted. Kind of like moves back a lock of hair back behind an ear, puts his hands behind his back, and walks out. The doors open, almost an echo away, and as they close behind him, it leaves you guys alone. And that is what we'll call the game. So thank you for joining us for Starlight. And don't forget, go ahead and comment on that latest Instagram post, tag a friend, don't do it twice, and we'll send you some cool
And you'll win
product.
a great prize.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Starlight. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, subscribe. For early releases, exclusive RPG content, and other bonus material, check us out on Patreon at patreon.com/starlightadventures. And to reach us for questions to be aired, email us at thestarlightadventures@gmail.com. See you next Tuesday, Spacers.